that eat plants. So because that community was there and they knew that already, they knew a lot of that, this filled that void. And so it it became important rather rapidly.
Yeah, it's, what you're talking about, it's kind of I'm a big martial arts fan. I love UFC, and it's a bit of a different sport than others because the fighters they kind of have to be good at two things. They have to be successful and at least financially. They have to be good at the sport, the technicals, how to throw punches and kicks and all that. But then they also have to be good at the marketing, and that's that they sell themselves. They're all independent contractors, and so it's you can have the best fighter in the world, but they're not gonna be on the main cards because they're a quieter guy who just kind of keeps to themselves or something like that. But then you can have the the most prominent fighters are maybe not the best. They're just good at selling it, marketing it, and then every once in a while you get someone who does both, where they have something truly special from a talent perspective, and then they match that with the ability to sell themselves. To get the word out, to build excitement, to build momentum. And it seems like you've done that. Like I'm not even in this world too deeply, and I've already had you come up a couple times. So yeah, I appreciate you championing it as well as doing the research, since I know that yeah, that's not necessarily part of the job. The coming on these webinars, these podcasts, and spreading it.
And why did I do that? Right? Why did I do that? I championed it because I thought it was important. I thought it's
Yeah,
important for humanity, for people, right? For people to know. And because there was a community there who wanted to hear it, they opened the door and I just walked in and I described and I showed them what was going on. And when I give the presentations about this, I show the details of what we see, what we're seeing, and not just to convey the science, I mean, not just to say, oh, we got this and it's an important process, but to show the details so that everybody can see, anyone can see, so they don't have to just, I'm not a talking scientist head, right? I'm just going to talk the science and the details and the molecular biology and all those details. Instead, uh, when I do it, I show what exactly happening, what we see, and let them decide, and I think that is another reason that uh, people were so receptive because they could see that, for one thing, they could see they have a sincere person here, who's not talking above their heads, not, not, not afraid to put myself out there and just show them what we're seeing and explain also, tell them where we have, questions and where we have details that are unknown and then what we think. And uh, it, it, it was received very well. I actually did a talk. It was called, what was it called? Farming Revolution or something like that. I forget what it was, but it was a lot of growers and farmers, and and I did it was an hour and a half presentation, something like that. We had some extension people there, and the growers, the farmers, they were asking really good questions. They followed, they're really smart. They followed everything. They asked really good questions. And one of the extension people, they were amazed because this seemed very complicated stuff, complicated, and yet it, it was not to the farmers. They picked it all up. They followed all of it, and I could tell that from the questions they had. So it was, the manner in which I try to show everything makes it so that it's reachable for everybody. Everybody, everyone could see that. If you describe it properly, uh, then it's, and that's an important thing because for people, we have we have much of our science is very complicated and it's hard to understand, and it turns a lot of people off. And so, I mean, even I have difficulties following some, scientific presentations. But if you present it right, you communicate it right, which I tried to do, it can be understood by everybody. Anybody can understand it. It's in plain language, and you can see it. Many of us, most of us are visual, including me. And so, you see the slides and you see what I'm saying. I try to put films in there, moving films where you can see the microbes moving around in the plant. You can see how they're processed in root hairs and how they're ejected from root hairs. I even had one showing the actual ejection of microbes from the tips of root hairs. So it's illustrated and described in such a way, and no attempt to hide anything. There's no need to hide anything, because there's nothing. If there's something unknown, I say it. I say it. And it makes a difference. And so the when I was at that farming revolution meeting or farming evolution meeting, I forget, in Colorado, but the extension person got up and said they're amazed. All of these growers, all of these farmers are understanding, what you said. They're understanding this. There was no. Now, the difficulty for me is that I'm actually a very shy person. so so I I don't like to be at the center of attention. I don't like